When Conway joined Donald Trump's campaign last summer, she was a pollster known in political circles, but she was far from a household name. As she rose to become one of Trump's most trusted advisors and then his campaign manager, Conway was a daily presence on television, defending the candidate through his controversies and becoming the target of critics herself. So who is Kellyanne Conway? I spoke with the counselor to the president in her new hometown of Washington on the afternoon before the inauguration. On her 50th birthday, Kellyanne Conway also began a new job. Now, arguably, the most powerful woman in Donald Trump's Washington. On a personal level, what are you feeling right now?
First, I feel incredibly humbled to be here at this moment. I just think it's a very propitious time of change and opportunity, fresh blood. It's more than just a fresh coat of paint for America. It's really a gut renovation, if you will.
The unexpected pinnacle of a career as a pollster and political advisor that began in the early 90s.
History looks at our presidents very differently.
In other words, even if you
We're not nominating a chief happiness officer here. Speaker Gingrich to say, sticks and stones may break my bones. What bothers people is that there is a germ of truth in this.
Conway started the 2016 presidential race backing Donald Trump's biggest rival. Helping to run a super PAC that supported Texas Senator Ted Cruz, Conway was critical of Trump.
He says he's for the little guy, but he's actually built a lot of his businesses on the backs of the little guy.
But when Cruz suspended his campaign, Conway got a phone call that changed her life and maybe American history. What did you think when he said, Kellyanne, I'd like you to join our team?
Well, no one ever really turns down Donald Trump. But when he asked me to join him, the only thing I asked of him in return was that I would have a seat at the strategy table where my elbows are rubbing up against it.
Just a month after joining Trump last July, Conway was promoted to campaign manager. She's credited with helping the unpredictable candidate stay on his message.
Right, stay on point, Donald, stay on point.
Kellyanne, were you jumping at the TV saying, don't say what I say to you, don't say what I say to you?
And often cleaning up his messes.
Grab him by the
He said his locker room banter. Hold on.
You mean he was making it up?
Hold on. Let me just explain to you as somebody who works for him.
What were the moments in the campaign that gave you pause, if there were any? For example, during the Access Hollywood tape. Did you have any moments of doubt in there where you said, I don't know if I can do this?
I had zero moments of doubt, but I also know the difference in this country between what offends us and what affects us.
On election night,
Look at all of these people. And Kellyanne.
Conway became the first woman ever to manage a winning presidential campaign. Was there any part of you that was a little bit shocked on election night when you won?
Wasn't shocked that we won. It was the intensity with which Donald Trump carried some of these areas, or came really close to carrying areas that had been elusive to Republicans for a very long time.
So you were a little bit surprised.
I was a little bit surprised. I knew starting October 22nd that he would win, and told him.
Picked out your West Wing office?
I have. I'm taking Valerie Jarrett's office, and it was also Karl Rove's office. I thought that was really good karma. Valerie really made me see how family-friendly the White House can be.
You are now a celebrity, whether you like it or not. You have people wanting to take pictures with you.
I don't think of myself as a celebrity. It's nothing I ever sought. I don't have security. I don't have an entourage. But I look at it as somebody who's just blessed to be in the right place at the right time.
Okay, Jake, so this tweet is actually taken out of context. Of course, Mr. Trump thinks that Mexicans can read, and actually what he wants them to read the most is Hillary Clinton's 33,000 missing emails.
So what does your family think when they see, say, SNL do a spoof of their mother? How does the family dealing with all this change?
We thought Kellyanne Conway's day off on SNL was just affectionately.
You like that one?
And charming. Oh, if you're going to be mocked, it might as well be that affectionately. It was adorable. My children like to stop the tape, Willie, and see, how close to form each of them was portrayed. But I think more importantly, my 12-year-old daughter recently said to me, Mom, I don't want to move to Washington, D.C. and be known as Kellyanne Conway's daughter. So I said, well, honey, why don't you go out and cure cancer, and then I'll be known as Claudia Conway's mother.
The mother of four grew up middle class in New Jersey. Her parents divorced when she was just a baby.
I was raised in a house of all women, my mother, her mother, and two of my mother's unmarried sisters, so South Jersey's version of the Golden Girls. Growing up in a household where we never had a single political conversation has really made me appreciate politics through a non-political lens, if you will.
Conway worked summers packing blueberries on a South Jersey farm. But after going to college and law school in Washington, she turned to politics. Over the years, Conway has worked for prominent Republican candidates like Jack Kemp, Dan Quayle, and Newt Gingrich. But none of them could prepare her for Donald Trump, who begins his administration as a controversial president, to say the least. The polling this week, historically low compared to other presidents at this point. Are you not concerned by a number that low as you begin this administration?
What concerns me about those poll numbers is very simple. It's part of how we got there with him. The question for everyone who covers him and who thinks about him is, what is the line between thoughtful criticism and skepticism and, flat out denial and delegitimization of what just happened?
So you think it's purely media coverage?
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say purely. I said I'm concerned about how the poll numbers got there.
People responding to the polls, though, did cite specific examples of things that trouble them about Donald Trump. For example, the fight with the intel community. A lot of people wondering why it appears, anyway, that his reflex is to defend Vladimir Putin and not the intelligence community.
That's completely unfair. He has a great relationship with the intelligence community.
But he insults them all the time.
Well, I disagree, Willie, and here's why. President-elect Trump has received many intelligence briefings. The PDB, the Presidential Daily Briefing, which is more of a product than an actual event, but he also has received other intelligence briefings, and he has kept his mouth shut about them. Why all these leaks from other people?
Much of Trump's criticism of the intelligence community appeared where so many of his thoughts do, on Twitter. Are there mornings where you wake up, you look at your phone at 6 o'clock in the morning, you see a tweet from Donald Trump and you go, oh my gosh, I can't believe he sent that out?
Sometimes what he has said gets distorted or jaundiced or outright twisted into unrecognizable fashion. And I know it's great for some ratings, but it doesn't really help fulfill the duty that we all have.
Do you think he'll answer every criticism from
He doesn't
SNL,
answer. He doesn't answer
Streep?
Every criticism, believe me. This man does not.
I, Donald John Trump.
Whatever the next 4 years may bring, it's a good bet Kellyanne Conway will be at the president's side.
I see my Kellyanne. Oh, Kellyanne. Come here. Come here. She's been so great. Wow.
To watch more of our interview with Kellyanne Conway, including questions about President Trump's proposed border wall and the extreme vetting, as he calls it, of